Yo, Kyle, it's been so long since we've recorded together. You've been
I
ducking me on
know.
one podcast, and now
Oh,
we're here.
that's how we're starting this, saying I ducked you.
Yeah.
Where were you? No. Because where were you recently? Because we had a DRSFC episode, and you were nowhere to be found. And this is after Alpine had no points.
I'm sorry, I'm a working woman and had to go clock in.
Okay,
Forgive me. Welcome to Walkin' 90,
sure.
everybody. There's no Yogi today, so I took over as hosting duties. I'm the captain now. And not always, because he has not been on a recent episode with me on any podcast. But it is still the lovely Kyle. How are you?
I'm good. I will take a fault. I did not show up this last episode of Walkin' 90. So that's on me. That one's on me. The other one, I was busy celebrating Easter. Okay.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. You know what? Mental health matters. So I
Almost had
waited for you.
and I almost had a crash out on Saturday night. It would have been
See,
bad.
we'll talk about that. First, folks, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first show or your however many we've done of these, I appreciate you coming on, listening to us. Make sure you follow us on Blue Sky, Walking 90 Pod, Walking 90 Pod, and on YouTube. We're trying to get to 150 before we make the trip to Forward, Madison for the Henny Derby. So I appreciate all of you guys for listening along. Make sure you support your local not artists, support your local
Support your
journalists.
local artists as well.
I mean, yeah, support your local artists, but we do this for the kindness of our hearts. We don't get paid for this. So yeah, welcome to Walking 90. We have a busy show today, and we're gonna make sure we get it to you in under an hour. I think we got this.
I think we could do it. I think we
we
can do it.
Let's see. Where do we want to start today? Do we start with Open Cup? Because there was a lot of wild games in the Open Cup.
I feel like the Open Cup is a good lead into the chaos that was this past match week, but the Open Cup had some moments of madness, to say the least.
Yes, it did. Let's start with a really decent game. Omaha beat San Antonio. That was very solid game from Omaha. A lot of fun too. I'm gonna give it to them.
You know, it was impressive. It was one of those where you kind of sat there and like, all right, can Omaha continue to do this? Because they get the goal, and I was like, all right, that's good.
Yep.
We like to see it. And then it was more of a, are they going to be able to sustain this? Seems like San Antonio is definitely starting to be more on the front foot. Are they going to be able to hold on? It was kind of more of this. As the time ticked away, it was kind of like, I think Omaha's got it. I think they are going to pull out this victory. And it was well defended. It was I mean, yeah, you got to give props. I mean, Union Omaha does this. So I know when we were talking about Blue Sky, I was like, oh yeah, someone's like, why not? We talked about like there were two upsets and something. Like, what about us? And we were like, no, Omaha doesn't count. You guys do this every year. So you don't get credit for doing the things you're supposed to do at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were definitely taking a lot of attack from San Antonio. Just looking at the stats alone, like San Antonio had all the possession, 65%, took all the shots. They just couldn't put one back in the back of the net. It was a gritty win. Mm-hmm. And it was against a championship side where if you said anything about Omaha and like where they align for 2027 for this new league, you could see them be one of the teams that makes a big jump up to Division One.
Yeah, and I mean, this was not like a bad San Antonio team. Like, they're sitting fourth in the West. They have had a little bit of a not great stretch losing to Phoenix and Miami, but it was still very impressive. Omaha didn't have a corner the whole game, which I thought was outrageous and really does say something. But I think it just, they had the defensive resolve. They won the battles. They got the interceptions. They got the blocks. They did a great job at clearing it. I mean, Nuhu didn't have to do too much in the second half, but they did. It was gritty. They did what they needed to. They got the goal and then able to just see it through.
I want to save two games for the end. And that's the Naples game.
I was going to say, I think I know which ones we're saving for the end.
Yeah, there's two we're saving for the end. AV Alta beating Orange County. Can't win in the
I
league.
thought we were saying that one for the end as well.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna save Naples, but we can save AV Alta.
Well,
Chattanooga
I feel like
beating
AV
Vegas.
Alta and Naples are in the same boat of it just literally was the difference of one penalty kick.
Yeah, true. That Naples game was heartbreaking, but we'll talk about that in a second. Knoxville losing to Colorado Springs. I think they got the short end of the stick because they had to travel very, very far for stupid reasons. I don't even know what the reasons were. I mean, obviously Chattanooga had to go to Vegas, who also Chattanooga beat Vegas. I called that from the beginning. I was like, Vegas will give you some of the most like randomest shit out there, and you'll be like, oh, this is actually a quality team, and then you'll be like, why are you not in League Two?
Right.
So I figured that they were going to bring a bad game, and they did. And Chattanooga looked the better team for that game. I don't know how, but
it was one of those where the fact that it had to get to penalties was surprising, but it was also one of those where Las Vegas had a lot of possession, but couldn't do anything with it. Yeah. And I mean, it is Vegas. They find a way to capitulate in this way. But at the same time, Chattanooga's keeper was doing a lot of work.
He was.
He really was over here standing on his head at times. I think he made like 5 or 6 saves. I was like, who is this man? Because I don't think this was their starting keeper either.
It was just, I don't even know how to like put it. It was just, would you call it like, I don't even know if that's an upset. Are we calling it a cup set? I personally don't, because I don't think that we should be rating Vegas that high anyway. But
I'm going to say technically. It's one of those where it's like,
we're giving it to him on a technicality. All right.
It technically is a cup set. It's not the same. It's not the same as if Knoxville had beaten Colorado Springs or Omaha, or if Naples had. It's not to that level, but it's technically a cup set. It's kind of like the championship team that's like, yeah, we like the English championship, and it's like they're facing Southampton. It's like, okay, but is it really an upset?
Right. That part. But you know what? We're gonna give it to them. It's a cup set, and it is a wild ride that's happening. But we'll let it go. This is the funniest part about it, is that they have not hosted yet.
Doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon.
It's not. I think they're 4th in line for their group when they like in this next round. So like if they win, they still don't get to host, because I think they drew 4th in their group for hosting.
Yeah.
So. Hilarious. I mean, let's talk about the Knoxville game. I think that literally just came down to fitness. For that goal in the 104th minute. For Colorado, your championship squad versus a League One squad. You've played I don't think they've played the same amount of games, but your players are fitter. Like, let's be quite frank. It kind of got to them at the end, especially because there was the red card, so you could tell the frustration happened. And
yeah, and I was gonna say it was definitely one of those where the fact that they were able to tie it shortly after Colorado Springs had taken the lead was pretty impressive. But I would agree, it was just the fitness. I mean, at this point, Knoxville is playing like their 6th, maybe 7th game, while Colorado Springs has played 9 or 10. So it was just a matter of, it just felt as though they just had a little bit more. And once Colorado Springs was able to get that goal early and added extra time, then it was kind of like, okay, we don't need to, we can take our foot off the gas and we can sit back and absorb as much of the pressure. But at the same time, it was kind of like anytime Knoxville had it, it's like they were trying to get a quick goal or a quick equalizer, and then it would just like turn the ball over and give it back to Colorado Springs.
Yeah. I mean, that was also like their 3rd game in a very short period of time. And then they literally had to turn around and go play FC Naples in a battle of unbeaten in the battle of unbeatens in the league. So that also probably was playing on their mind with these lineups that they've had. But that it was a good showing for League One, and I'm not mad at it. It's I think that game probably could have played a little bit longer, honestly. Like skipping PKs, if you had given One Knox just like maybe 10 more minutes of like true football, they probably would have tied it again.
Yeah, that was a good chance.
Detroit beat Westchester. Nothing home to write about there. That was a 3-1 game.
I mean, what other games were there? It got interesting for a moment, but
I mean,
it was boring in the first half, and then it was like within 10 to 15 minutes, like, all right, we got 3 goals.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. It was like, all right, cool. Detroit scored. Westchester shortly equalized, and then Detroit got the penalty, and it was kind of over after that.
It was done for. We'll talk about this game just because the Burrito Boys are a favorite for everybody. They lost to Sac Republic 1-0. First half goal for Juan Herrera from Sac Republic, and they just couldn't. Not much you can really do there.
That's true. But hey, hell of a fight from them. I feel like this is a team where, with that pro rel, they could be a team that could suddenly be in League One, like out of nowhere. And it would not surprise me. If they're doing all this at this level, they could really make some moves.
Yeah. And that'd be fun. Because it's very much an amateur side that could literally slot into League 2, play their way up to League 1, and like be in the hunt.
They get some money.
Right. I mean, they just won the $50,000 because they're the last amateur club, so that's a big payout for them. I'm not mad at it. I love that team. They're fun every year. I can't wait to see what they do next year. Sucks that they went out, but let's get to our 3 games that we left. We left NCFC versus Charlotte. We left Tampa Bay versus Naples, and we left.
We forgot
Alta versus Colorado.
There's 2 others.
Is there?
Nothing to write home about. Portland lost to Rhode Island.
Oh, I forgot about Portland.
That game was over in the first half. I'm sorry. Portland had no chance.
I'm so sorry, Portland. I completely forgot about that game.
It was 2-0 at halftime, and then Portland got a goal, and it's like, oh, maybe, and then they got a red card. It's like, never mind. So that happened. Tormenta
Charleston versus South Georgia Torment.
Yeah, another one that was,
yeah, that was like what? I think they had like 3 goals. Like
one dude had a hat trick.
Yeah.
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 So
the 3 games we left.
So the 3 final.
So which one did we start with?
I feel as though we need to give you a moment for Charlotte and North Carolina. So let's actually talk about the AV Alta Orange County, because that was a ridiculous one.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, let's start there.
Oh my God. It was I was so pissed off at AV Alta for so much of that match because they played so well in the first half. In the first 15 minutes, I was like, and I even said in our chat, I was like, AV Alta look really good, but they look good. And then as soon as I hit send, Orange County scored a goal, which was ridiculous. Just like a blast, a near post blast, ripped the top of the net. And I was just so frustrated with AV Alta because they were so much better than Orange County. And they did everything right but the final third. I was like, why can't you just make one good pass?
I've been harping on this team because I've been saying they can't do shit in this league, but they're going to carry League One to the fucking final because of play like this. Nothing about this game made sense. They held all of the possession. It was 69% possession to AV Alta. What do you mean?
AV Alta had 686 passes to Orange County's 299.
What are we? What? I don't even.
4 passes in Orange County's half. Then Orange County had total passes. But they could not do the damn final third, and I was getting so pissed. And then they get a goal off of a corner. I was like, oh, of course they can't do anything in open play, but they get a corner. Sure. And then they scored again. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. They figured it out. They're going to cruise to a win. No, allow a goal in the 84th minute. I was like, you motherfuckers.
You want to know the crazy part? Because I love that Foot Mob will break down each half. They got better as they continued playing. They had Orange County on the fucking rope. They were just like you. All you needed was like right there. You were on the cusp of just like ending it several times. Like they gave you more of the ball as time went on because they're like, you're not gonna hit it. You're not gonna hit it. So why the fuck are you not just hitting it? Literally, you had 68% possession in the first extra time. You had 85% possession in the second extra time. What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean? And you took no shots.
It was so annoying because they couldn't get a goddamn pass.
Shots. 2 shots, 1 on target. What?
I was cussing this team out more than I think I've cussed out Ford Madison this season. That's how annoyed. Okay, that's not true. The Texoma game.
Remember
at the
did
point,
you listen to the rant from Yogi about Texoma in the last episode? It was magical. And that's what I feel like I'm doing right now to fucking AV Alta.
If AV Alta had lost this game, I would have gone on that kind of rant because I was so mad at this team. And then, of course, they get the penalties. Like, they're going to fucking lose it because they've had all these chances. Orange County going to sneak out of here. And, the first 2 penalties, each team gets in. Lion McKinnon scored. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. And then they saved the penalty. It's like, great. Awesome. Do not F this up. And he nearly did. So I was like, you gotta be kidding. And then the second Orange County penalty goes over. I was like, please do not make this more. End this game right now. So I'm glad AV Alta held on. I was rooting for them. I dozed off and woke up and it was still 2-2. And I was getting more frustrated because I was like, what the hell? Why are we doing this?
Oh my gosh. I think this part is the worst part about it all. It's just, why did you make this more difficult than it had to be? You were the better team. You were absolutely the better team.
This could have been easily like 5-1, 6-1 by end of regulation if they could just do some. I was getting to the point, it's like, just shoot the ball at this point. Like, stop trying to pass it. Just shoot it from 40 yards. I don't even care because you have a better chance of scoring than putting in a good pass in the final third.
So silly. So silly. You know what? I want to save the Tampa Bay Naples game for last.
That's fair.
So we'll go to NCFC versus Charlotte. So that game was stupid because we had Daniel Chesky reffing.
Oh, God.
You see that? That's what I said the moment I saw her on my screen. And I was like, fuck this game. And then I really said, fuck this game when Charlotte went up 1-0. And I was like, you know what? I hate soccer. Why do we even watch soccer? Because it's stupid. And then they came out and scored. And literally, Olex Anderson, within like the first minute, was like on goal. And I'm like, where was this like 15 minutes ago? Because you also had several million chances there. And you just didn't do it, and you didn't try. And I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, you put Akira Fitzgerald in fucking goal. You started Akira Fitzgerald in
2025.
It's like, what are we doing here? And then we scored 3 in 7 minutes, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Well, it's funny because if you just look at the stats, it's like Charlotte literally had 1 shot on target.
And it was their 1 goal.
And it was their 1 goal. I was like, that's soccer for you. But I'm
let in everything. And you know what? That moment where he just like fucking switched off and it was the fucking header. I was like, I hate this sport. I hate it.
Yeah, it's one of those where you kind of sit there and go, "Why do I even watch this?" And then you
Yeah.
go, "Oh yeah, that's right. They
That's
scored,
why I
3
forgot about
goals in
that.
6 minutes." Like, "Oh yeah, that's right. This is fun. This sport is fun. I like this sport."
It's like woke up, still fuck Charlotte. Got
And you get to
it.
continue that fuck Charlotte trend.
Yes, and now I get to continue that fuck Charlotte trend. I still hate the sport.
That's fair. Okay, Tampa and Naples.
Tampa and Naples. That was
I would say
the
that was the
best
match of the
game.
round. That was the best match of the round. Can we agree on
Yeah,
that?
I absolutely agree with that.
Okay.
That game was gritty, but it was like tactical, and it was so much. It was fun as a fan that's watching because it gave you everything you needed.
And
Like,
it was well, it's like it was pretty even. Like if you
yeah,
disregard the possession stat, if you just eliminate that stat, everything else was relatively even. Like they had the same shots on target. They had about the same number of shots. They had about the same number of chances. So it was very even. Like 2 less fouls for Naples than Tampa. Tampa had 1 more corner. It was just very. It was almost like Naples played exactly how they wanted to play,
yes,
and it almost worked.
they played up to Tampa. Tampa didn't play down to
Yep.
Naples. And that left for a very physical but entertaining match for everyone on the field. And all the fans watching too. Like it was truly like a great match. I mean, I guess we should talk about the penalties.
Oh man.
Yeah, like there was a moment where like I thought they were going to pull it off.
I thought I was gonna get the goalies.
I did too. I was like, I think that Naples could do it. And if they got to goalies, I think Naples would have won. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Delgado was standing on his fucking head.
Oh yeah.
he was by far the best goalie out there for League One the entire round. That was a masterclass.
It was kind of tough because it was like you didn't know how because and also like some of the ones that even were made, it was like, ooh.
Well, he was close.
It was this close to being right.
Like if he was just a little bit stronger, he would have like the one that actually hit. There was 2 that hit off his hand.
Yep.
One that just grazed and one that like fully hit his hand. If he was a little bit stronger with that push out,
or it was even like a half second quicker.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was so good.
Yeah.
Now, I feel terrible about that last kick from the guy that was cramping up in the second part of extra time. Like he had went down for a few minutes, like literally minutes before they went to PKs, and then like before that he was down for like a couple minutes, just cramping. And then you could see his leg twitch when he went to go kick, and I was like, "Oh no!"
And you feel bad because you're sitting there and you're like, the coach was probably like, okay, I'm going to put him near the end because I don't think it's going to go this long.
That's exactly what I think they did. And I was like, no. You got to get him out of the way now. Get him done so that you don't have to rely on him.
Right.
He was already like just gassed walking up. He didn't look confident going up. And then you saw him plant and everything about him just shook. And I was like, oh, all he needed was like less than an inch below, and he would have, and it would have went to goalkeeper PKs.
Yep.
He just felt. I could tell he just was like, I felt everything in that kick, and he just lost it.
It's just one of those you just feel bad because again it was like the coach tried. He was trying to save him. He didn't want him to go out there. He knew he had to. And it's just like, I was just like, oh no. When I saw it, I was like, either he's going to absolutely like get a clinical on, or it's just going to look bad, or it's just going to end poorly. And unfortunately, it ended poorly.
It ended poorly. Yeah. I mean, would you save him for kick 10 or kick 11 at that point? Because
I mean, again, I don't think anyone thought it was going to get that far. Like maybe it gets to like 7. Normally, like 6 or 7, you would think, but you don't think it gets to kick 10 or not. Like, you don't think it goes that long.
No, I didn't. I honestly didn't think it was going to go that long. But there were some really good kicks. So everyone was just kind of like putting their foot behind it, except for that one guy that like ran from like outside the 18. I was like, I hope he slips and falls and we end this.
I'm not a fan of the stutter step penalty, but also at the same time, like you don't need to take all that time to run up and kick it
At all. Like that's so stupid.
Unnecessary.
That's why I literally was like, I hope he trips. I hope he face plants before he even gets there, and we are done. We are done with PKs. So yeah.
What a round. So for the next round, I think Omaha is facing St. Louis City. Avialta faces Dallas, and Chattanooga will face Nashville. And I think Chattanooga's on Tuesday, and then Avialta and Omaha will be on Wednesday.
Correct.
So
the little engines that could, please go for it. I
don't know what to expect. At this point, I can see Chattanooga winning because it's like
see?
That's it.
Chattanooga's gonna do it all the way from home.
Avialta could, if Avialta plays like against Orange County, they will both possibly win and then have the most frustrating game I've ever seen again.
Yeah, I don't know how. To be fair, I have not seen FC Dallas play. They did lose a big piece of their offense in Ferrer. But because he went to my team.
Yeah,
I love it. But we'll see. I mean, the one game I'm currently interested in the most is obviously NCFC versus Charlotte FC. Fuck Charlotte. All right. That is it. Let's go to the chaos that happened in the league, because there was a lot of it, and it was also like dumb chaos. Because of why are you doing this? Is defense in the room with us? Bring back Shane.
I mean, one team thought, yes, we're going to defend. Unfortunately, it was goddamn Texoma.
Let's start there, because what the fuck, Kyle? I want Ford Madison to feel shame, because what was that?
I straight up said,
you let them lead. You let them go up on you.
It was the classic Ford. It was like almost the classic Ford Madison game where all the things were going your way and you had the right attack, but you couldn't seem to score. I will say in the first half, there was an amazing save from their keeper, McCready. Like, he made a great diving save. I will give him props for that. But otherwise, every other time Fort Madison seemed to have a shot, it was either blocked, it was a tame shot. There was one, I think Nico Brown like had a great curler that would have been like in the corner, but Juan Galindras was unfortunately in the way and it went off his back. And it was just one of those, as the game went on, I was like, this is getting really fucking annoying. And I was sitting here, I was like, and everyone at the stadium was like, how the hell are we letting this happen? And as soon as it was like, I think Mitch headed it back to Byrne, who couldn't control it. It goes out for a corner. And I was like, we know how this is going to go. And they cleared the initial corner. I was like, great. All right, cool. Another cross goes in, gets floated in. We see the dude rise up, head it in. And we're like, are you fucking kidding me? And it was just frustrating. And it just felt like Ford Madison's attack. It was almost like Avialta. You're doing everything you're supposed to do, but make the right goddamn final pass in the third or the right shot. And it was frustrating. And they were able to salvage a draw. And I said, like, that's a bad result. Like, you can't be drawing to the worst team in the league. And it was clear, like, talent-wise, there was a big talent discrepancy. And Texoma on the ball could not do anything. And Madison was able to just pick their pocket. They were able to get a tackle, able to win possession with ease. But they should have won this game 2-0 at the very least. I even said they should be scored 2. It was not a good showing for Madison.
Okay, at least you admitted it at the end. Okay.
Oh, no, it was bad. Like, I even with the draw, I was like, yeah, I was happy they scored at the end. But I was like, there's no reason this game should have been a draw in the first place.
How about say it smell like bitch in here? What are y'all doing? Because
No, it was
have
bad.
you seen the league? Have you seen the Chaos BCS? So they are at a -55. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
want
it
you to
got
see
worse for Texoma this week.
what?
Texoma score is going to go lower after
Yeah.
we put in the numbers because they got a red card.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was very frustrating to watch. And it was very much kind of felt like the issue with Madison of they cannot seem to just be capable of scoring. And it feels as though, I mean, the goal that they scored was basically a scramble in front of on a corner. It was a scramble, kind of similar to the goal they had against Richmond, the first goal in the Henny Derby. So it's just feeling as though like how I feels like all their goals have to be this like very hard, difficult, make it happen goal. Because if you think about it, against Richmond, the first one, scramble after a corner. The second was Derek Gebhardt basically did it all himself. The goal against Charlotte was off of the set piece, and the goal against Texoma was just off of the set piece. So on the one hand, it's good to see they can score off set pieces. On the other hand, they need to be able to do better in open play. I'm done. It was It was frustrating. They should not be drawing this kind of game, especially at home.
Well, then let's move to another team that should, I don't want to say feel shame, but they should all feel shame. Charlotte versus Tormenta was 3-2. This was a game where it was a sneaky defense in the room with us. Yeah. Because Charlotte didn't have to do a lot of defending, but when they did, they scored twice. Tormenta scored twice. So, and then Tormenta just didn't defend at all. So,
I mean, when one team has 4 shots on target and 3 goals, not looking very promising. Yeah. And Tormenta, one of the goals was a penalty, which is such a dumb penalty to concede, by the way.
Yeah. Nothing about it made sense. I was like, I watched it twice. Like, I watched the highlights twice to figure out, like, what the fuck happened?
Defense was not in the room.
Yeah,
at all this match.
That's the theme for this weekend.
And honestly, what happened to Austin Pack? Because I feel like last week, Austin Pack, like, reminded, like, last week against Portland, I was like, okay, Austin Pack is back. Like, he is there. He is standing on his head. He was doing normal Austin Pack things, and it just seems like other than that one game, he has been not good.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't know. It's looking like, because they don't do the flashy thing, nobody really pays attention to Charlotte, but their defense is garbage.
We're back to old Charlotte of the first couple of years there in USL League One, where it's like, yeah, they're going to score a lot of goals. They're going to concede a lot of goals as well.
Yeah. So, and Tormenta just is in a rebuild, and it's been a long rebuild. So,
but you would think, like, you don't sign Austin Pack as part of a rebuild. You sign him as like, all right, this is our guy, and we have our keeper. We're good there. We don't need, like, we're good there, and we just got to build everything else. And now it's kind of feeling like, I don't know.
They didn't get what they bargained for.
It's like they're probably looking at Charlotte like, you can take it back. This is not what we brought in.
Well, he's yours now, so yeah. you gotta have a come to Jesus moment and talk it out. Like, truly decide if you're doing this rebuild or not, and what does that rebuild look like with Pack and goal and the sprinkling of hope that you have throughout the field.
Yeah.
So, Aviata lost to Spokane. We knew that already. They don't win in the league. They're Open Cup. That's their thing.
Aviata doing the same shit against Orange County.
I ain't even got it for them. Like, I ain't even worried about them. Chattanooga beat Greenville 1-0. We should be
Okay,
hitting
so
the panic button. We should be hitting the panic button. Like, how are
I
we?
I had said Madison had the worst result out of all the teams this past weekend.
No, they did not. I mean, it
I
was
I
an
mean,
embarrassing result. Yes,
okay.
embarrassing. Feel shame. Um, but it wasn't. It wasn't the worst result. That has to go to Greenville
Yeah. They
because
don't look good.
baby.
I
Oof.
mean, there might need to be a panic button. I think it has to be hit.
It's gotta. I was hitting it last time, and Yogi tried to like talk to me down a little bit, and I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like we should be worried.
I mean, they've played 6 league games and they've only got 7 points. And
I mean,
it was weird because we went in and we're like, okay, Drury gets Westchester, probably Westchester should have won. But then the following week they thrash Omaha. We're like, okay, never mind. Greenville's fine. It's all good. And then they get throttled by Spokane, beaten by Knoxville, and the Knoxville one I was kind of like,
that was
that
an
was in the
Open
Open
Cup
Cup.
game. That was
But
an
right,
Open
I
Cup
was like,
game.
okay, that was Open Cup. It happened, and then lost again to Knoxville.
Right.
And I
They
think that was
beat
when,
Charlotte in between 1-0. But
but
then
that
again,
wasn't a
yes,
pretty
they
one.
lost 1-0 to Knoxville, and then they lost 1-0 to Chattanooga. And every team is doing to them what they would do to other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Score first, score early, and then just sit back. They had the most possession in the Chattanooga game. They had 68% possession.
But they didn't do shit with it.
At all. At
Like
all.
Chattanooga only 32%, but they took 15 shots. They had more shots at target.
Same thing with Knoxville. Not only do they have a red card in the 1-0 loss, they 58% of the possession, but they were even on shots. So you still didn't do anything, even after they just beat you 3-1.
And I mean, Chattanooga, I mean, they also hit the woodwork.
Same thing in the Open Cup game. You had 63% of the possession. You took 22 shots. 22. 7 on target, 1 goal.
And I understand not having Liam McKinnon is one thing. You brought in Siobhan Marsh and Ropa Menza. So it's not as though you have no good striker. Like, you brought in 2 pretty decent League One strikers. And you're still struggling this much. Like, I don't think Ropa Menza scored yet this year.
I don't think so.
I don't think he scored. And it's just one of those where you kind of go, all right, you got Tormenta in the Jaeger Cup coming up. So, like,
I mean, they've only scored 2 goals this year, and it was Sebastian Velasquez and Ben Zawowski. Zakowski, sorry.
But the thing is, like, it's probably not going to get better. Like, you have Tormenta. That one you're probably looking at is like, oh, you got to win that because you got Richmond on the road the next week. You got Avialta, who I don't know what Avialta will punish Greenville. Like, Avialta can play the way they do and get away with it against Greenville. And then thankfully you got in Texoma, but we're looking at a month. Like, this might continue for a month, and it's not looking better for them.
I'm sorry. That's a lie. They had Leonardo Castro has 2 goals. Ben Zakowski has 2 goals because of the 3-0 win. I forgot all about that.
I was going to say, like, take out that 3-0 win. It's looking rough.
Yeah. So if you're not panicking, I'm going to do it for you. You should be hitting that button, and you should be asking questions. Yogi just had a really good talk with who was it from Greenville?
Greenville Goals. I forgot the name.
Yes.
I feel bad.
Really good talk with him. You should definitely go listen just to hear some insight about Greenville. Really good conversation. But yeah, if I'm a Greenville fan, I'm hitting the button because I'm like, how are you not panicking? If that makes sense. Let's go to Naples. Naples with their first loss. And it wasn't even like it was a bad loss. It was to a really good Knoxville squad.
And it was only on a penalty. Yeah. And it was even. Knoxville got the penalty. They scored it. pretty evenly matched between the two teams. Knoxville has been very impressive this year, which I was surprised about. I did not think they were going to be this good.
Yeah, they're a pretty even team, like you said. Naples had a little bit more of the possession, but they were pretty even in shots, 12 to 11. They kind of held a lot more of like the accurate passing and things like that, but it was still just a really good game for League One. If you were looking for a vibes game, it was this game. Yeah. This was a really good, like, it's on in the background, two solid teams. No matter the result, it wouldn't have lowered my stock on either of the two teams. So I'm okay with it. Naples is going to bounce back.
Yeah, no reason to panic for Naples. Like, they were going to have to lose a game at some point. Knoxville has played really well, so it's understandable.
You're still number one in the league, so it's like get the loss out of the way now so that you don't have to do it later. That's when it hurts the most. So doing it now, it tells you a little bit about yourself and how gritty you can be coming back from it. I think you're fine. Yeah. You're fine. Now, if you're looking for chaos.
Oh, my God.
Defense.
What the fuck happened?
Defense didn't even get invited in the house for Richmond versus Winchester.
Defense was not invited. Defense was not informed. I don't even think defense was even going to make it if they had gotten the invite.
Defense was told tomorrow so that they wouldn't show up on Saturday because, baby, 8 goals, a 4-4 draw.
Yeah.
The only goal that Naples scored inside the box was a penalty.
Of course. Manchester. Manchester was back.
Winchester. I'm sorry. Winchester. I'm still thinking about Naples. I'm sorry. The only goal that Winchester scored inside the box was a penalty.
And you think, oh, that's it. That's game. That was in the 7th minute of added time.
It was 6 minutes of extra time, and they scored in the 9th, and that penalty was in the 96th minute. And then they go right down the field, get a free kick, and he scores his second of the game within 30 minutes of, like, he literally, like, who was it? He scored. Kirkland. He came on the field, immediately scored, and then he scored the equalizer in, like, the 99th minute or whatever the fuck it was.
And the thing is, it was because of a handball by Westchester. It's like, what is going on? This is one of those games where you look back and you're like, none of this should have happened.
No.
None of this absolutely should have happened.
And the crazy part is, literally, it was Richmond going up. Richmond went up in what, like the 2nd minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. They started the game in the 2nd minute with a goal.
And then Westchester
back and forth trading goals.
Westchester immediately equalized like 5 or 6 minutes later.
And then Richmond went up again right before halftime. So it was 2-1. Winchester again scores. You think it's over when Richmond finally gets to 3. And then they score, and then they go up 4-3.
The funniest part about this is, if Richmond had not conceded that penalty, the game would have been over because there was 6 minutes of added time.
And the penalty was so stupid. Why do you have your arms around him? You literally just pulled him down. For what? For what? He was not even facing goal. He wasn't going to get the header.
He just threw it the crowd. I was like, why?
He was nowhere near the ball to get the header, to even put it back into like a dangerous spot. Why do you have your arms around him? You literally just took him and said no.
And he wasn't going to win it. That's the thing. Like, the other defender had it. The other defender perfectly had it to clear that header. God. This was the dumbest thing. And I'm just going to mention this right now. We don't have the CBCS rankings. We are still working on updating it. Westchester with 3 goals outside the box and 2 goals after the 75th minute. And all they've gotten for themselves is a 2.85 for their score because they had 5 yellow cards.
Nothing about it made any sense. That game, if we were doing our quintessential vibes and chaos, the Naples game is your vibes, and this Richmond Winchester game is your absolute chaos, because I don't even know if you can put into words what people felt in that stadium.
I don't know if I would be relieved with having a draw.
I don't know.
I don't know who should feel. No one should feel good about this result.
You should be mad. You should be angry. Both teams should be angry that they walked away with a draw.
Because there's no reason for that.
Right.
There's no reason. Either
Winchester, you had the game in hand because you got a penalty in the 96th minute, and then you just stopped playing. And you
just decided, oh yeah, this ball being floated in. Let's not defend that.
If it was 3-3 at the end, I would be like, okay, yes, both teams can be happy. But then you let 2 more goals happen, and now both teams are pissed that they have a draw.
And yeah, I'm sure it's kind of like the same thing with the Madison game. Yeah, it's good that you got that late goal to equalize, but we should not have been in that position in the first place.
Right.
God.
That was just it makes our game, it makes our show easy, because how the fuck do we put into words what
you need to watch? You just have to watch the highlight video, because there's no way I can sit here and properly explain this match. Because I went to the Ford Madison game. I left because that game, the Richmond game, started an hour before. I got to the stadium and it was already 2-2. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then got to halftime. I was like, oh, okay. Sure, it's halftime in Madison and 3-3. And I look again, it's 4-4. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I literally was looking and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm at the Courage game and I'm like, 2-2. And then I look and I'm like, okay, 3-2. And then it's 3-3. And then I'm like, oh, this game's over. Yogi's about to crash out. It's 4-3. And then I'm like, wait, I didn't check it again until the next morning. I'm like, how did this end 4-4? What are we doing? We were all in periods of crash out in our chat because we were just like, each of our games was just not happening. My game was 2-0. We were losing to Miami FC. Why? And then Courage were down 1-0. I was like, oh, so I could double crash out.
I crashed out because I was like, we're gonna lose to Texoma. I swear to God, if we lose to Texoma.
Yo, at that point you were at 0-0, and then you were like, fuck this. And I was like, oh, let me go look. Yep, 1-0 Texoma. It was just a chaotic week of soccer for no reason. It didn't need to be like this. Just play your game and go home.
American soccer should not exist. All right, I'm just at that point.
We don't have to live like this. We don't. Play good soccer. Bring back shame. Bring back defense.
And you know what's going to make this even more ridiculous? We got Jaeger Cup action this weekend, so it is not going to calm down. It is not.
Because the crash out group of NCFC, Charlotte, Richmond, Loudoun, Louisville, and Lexington plays. And that is everybody. You want to know what this is the fuck you group, because everybody plays a rival at least once. And everybody's going to be like, nah, fuck you. I'm going in 2 studs up. 2-foot tackle. You know what? Let's fight at midfield. That's what this group is. And that's the spirit of the Jaeger. Because
and then we got the sneaky chaos of the East, basically the Northeast. Westchester's going to have Rhode Island. I was like, oh, I wonder how that will go.
Fun. That's going to be fun.
And then our favorite team out west, AV Alta, they're going to play Sacramento and Vegas. I'm going to be like, God damn it.
Man, they're not. AV Alta has truly gone the Leicester route where they don't care about the league. They care about just getting their money and running all these tournaments because vibes.
The league doesn't matter.
Vibes, chaos. And I cannot wait. So, I mean, we started going through them. So, Naples is at Charleston. That's going to be fun. I truly think that's going to be one of the better matchups of this whole thing. Madison versus Indy.
Should be interesting. Not sure what to expect. I feel as though, I mean, Madison can't play like they did against Texoma and expect.
Yeah, no, that's over with. If you do that, then this is
it will be bad. It will be bad if they do that same thing. But it's not like Indy 11's been particularly good.
Yeah, they haven't been. Knoxville versus Tulsa.
Low key, pretty good.
Kind of want to put money on Knoxville.
I mean, Tulsa's doing really well in the championship, though.
They are.
That's gonna be a good match to watch.
It's gonna be fun. I think that's gonna be like a really good even match.
Yeah.
But I'm still putting it on Knoxville. Fuck it. Louisville versus Richmond. I don't really know what to make of that. That's just gonna be like a.
Will Richmond decide to defend because they have not done that all year?
No.
No. I don't think it's going to happen against Louisville. So there might be 6 goals in that game. Who knows?
Oh, God. The snooze fest is going to definitely be Tormenta versus Greenville.
Yeah.
They're going to go. This is the battle of mids. Who's going to out-mid each other? And I think nobody wins in that game. The people watching or the people playing. And I hate to say it. Texoma versus El Paso. Congrats on the win, El Paso.
You don't think that, but El Paso.
You know what? Texoma needs a win, so let's make it this one.
The thing is, yes, it would make a lot of sense that El Paso should win this game, but El Paso does terrible against USL League One teams, and I wouldn't be surprised if Texoma feeling good about getting that draw. They realize, hey, we don't need to try and play out. We can just sit back and defend.
That's bad. Because sitting back to defend is how you get where you are right now. Stop playing out the back. We don't need it anymore. Stop it. You don't have to do that. It's not your style. Stop it. Texoma, listen to me. Texoma, listen to me. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
This could be the one that Texoma wins because El Paso does this. Anyway, another good matchup next week. Well, it should be good.
Then you have New Mexico versus Omaha.
That should be a good one.
I said this in the beginning. I think Omaha is a tough group, but Omaha could do some things in this one. And
I mean, I think they can win this. I think Omaha can win this. It'll be very interesting, though, how New Mexico plays, because I feel like New Mexico is sneaky good, but not like amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at where they are in the championship, third in the West, only one loss. They've had some tough games to start. They beat us 1-0. That was a really, really good one. I mean, they also played Miami FC, though.
Yeah.
They beat the Lights. There was a little bit. That one was a little touchy because they did all their scoring late. Like, it was all a second half game for both teams.
They can defend. They will defend. Yeah. That's where I feel as though Omaha's going to need another smash grab 1-0.
Yeah. They can do it. They've played some decent squads, but they haven't played a lot of strong opponents. They played us really well, played El Paso really well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I still like Omaha's chances there because the West isn't as strong as the East in terms of like championship. We always say that though. So maybe we'll see where they go. AV Alta, because we don't record for another 2 weeks, we'll have 2 games: Sacramento and Vegas. I got to give them the Vegas one. I think they win that one. I don't know.
I feel like it's gonna be they beat Sacramento but lose out to Vegas because of course it would be the most AV Alta
It would make the most sense. Yeah. That's the AV Alta way. Just do nothing that makes sense to help you with your league score or your confidence. So you lose to a Lights team, but beat a Sacramento team. I can see that happen. I see your vision. I'm walking with you. A little bit. I'm there for it. I still think they beat Vegas though. So, Westchester versus Rhode Island. That has the makings of a really good regional rivalry.
Could be a fight.
Regional if
I
you
can see a red
tilt
card in
your
this
head
one.
a little bit and squint that one eye. I'm gonna give it.
There's gonna be a red card. I'm calling it.
A red card? Which side?
I don't know yet. I'm just saying because both teams, because Rhode Island got a red card against Portland. So I'm just saying, very possible there will be. I feel like there's gonna be a red card.
Is Rhode Island that team that's just I don't want to play the little kids, so I'm just gonna fucking kick out and call it a day? No,
I'm sick of playing my little brother. I'm gonna go beat him up instead.
Silliness. Birmingham versus Chattanooga. I got money. I got money on Chattanooga. Birmingham is.
They just lost to Hartford, so yeah, I got.
Yeah, they're not good. I was trying to be nice about it. They're just playing awful right now.
You lose to Hartford, I'm not being nice.
That's rough moments. That's
down bad.
To see it. Yeah, there's nothing to come back from there. You can only literally go up from there. So, and they're not going to do it against Chattanooga. I'm not even going to hold you. So, congrats, Chattanooga.
There you go.
Let's see. We got Spokane versus Oakland. I'm here for it.
Depends on which Spokane decides to show up.
Depends on which Oakland decides to show up.
All right, so a 4-4 draw for that one. All right, cool.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm if you gotta choose your vibes game and your chaos game, because league doesn't play until May.
Weeks.
So
yeah.
If you have to choose your vibes game and your chaos game, what are we going with?
Vibes, I'm going to say Naples, Charleston. Chaos, I'm gonna say AV Alta, Vegas, because it's gonna annoy me.
That's fair. My vibes is going to be a sneaky one, and it's going to be Louisville versus Richmond.
I could see it. I could see that being chaos as well.
It could be chaos. Or if I'm going to, or New Mexico versus Omaha for vibes.
I'd say that's a better one.
Yeah. For chaos, there's so many options. I mean, I could go Homer and say NCFC versus Charlotte, but I don't think that's the most chaos game. It is a chaotic game, but it's not the most chaos. I could see. I'm going to go Tormenta versus Greenville.
Ooh.
That could be full chaos because both of these teams need something to feel alive. And I hope it is a thrilling 4-4. No, let's go higher. 5-5.
Okay.
5-5. There's going to be
That's assuming Greenville's
goals.
capable of scoring 5 goals.
There's going to be 2 own goals. At least. And I don't know. I just feel, or it could just literally be all Tormenta scoring. And because they don't play defense, Greenville just feels better about themselves just walking the ball into the back of the net.
That is very possible.
So one of the two is happening, and it's going to be 5-5 or 6-4. There's 10 goals being scored because you have to score goals. That's the point of Jaeger. The more goals you score, the better. So shoot or shoot. Fair. Shoot or shoot. I just that's just what I'm thinking.
I think that's fair.
That's fair. You know what? We did not do it in 45 minutes. We were close.
Honestly, I feel like I blame Westchester and Richmond because we had to truly digest what the fuck that was.
I'm gonna give you that because that was a what the fuck. That was a what the fuck. I approve. Kyle, anything before we go?
R.I.P. to the Pope.
How many times have you said that on podcast today?
This is the second time I said it on podcast.
Oh my word. On behalf of Kyle and the absent Yogi and the absent Chip, we will get Chip back on here eventually. We work for the same company, and I know he's having a worse time than I am about this acquisition. So I know it is rough. We will get Chip back on soon. For me, for the crew, we want to say thank you for watching and listening along. And please follow us on Blue Sky, Walkin 90 Pod. Follow us on YouTube at Walkin 90. Trying to get to
Instagram
before we make it. Oh yeah, and Instagram. I forgot about Instagram. I always forget about Instagram. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
And appreciate y'all. Peace.